go drifting. Got the car all packed up. We got tires and wheels, helmets, GoPro stuff. Maybe I'll actually record some stuff while I'm there today. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna be there. Louie's not going today. It's the weekend of his wedding anniversary. But yeah, I just gotta stop and get gas, and then I'll be on my way to the track. All right, so I'm out here at Thompson Motor Speedway. I just went through tech inspection. This is currently C-Class. It's crazy. They're driving all the way up there at the 10. This is the line. Holy sh**. Honestly, I'm so glad I'm not in C group anymore, but that's insane. Like, it's so long that they have to do this loop to get back in line. But my car's all ready to go. I'm gonna run these first, then I'm gonna run those, and then I'm gonna put those on these wheels. But we'll see how it goes. I forgot to take a picture of the, what's it called? That thing, the schedule. So I have to run over back to the tech bay, take a picture of the schedule so I know when I'm going out on track. I might be out on track right now if it's not A group over on Clubhouse, but we'll see. All right, so I just went and checked the schedule. I don't go on track until 10:30. It is currently 10:10, so I'm going to turn the car off for now. I'm just gonna hang out for like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, let this line go down, wait until it is 10:30, and then we have an hour on the skid pad, and then after that hour we go over to the clubhouse. So probably just do a couple laps on the skid pad, and then just for like warming up, just so I don't waste all my tires over there, and then I will park it up and wait for my time to get on the clubhouse course, because that is what I came here for. Well, it's 10:30. I'm in line. As you can see, I'm still next to the garages. If you've ever been to this track before and you know where the skid pad is in relation to the garage, you know I'm gonna be waiting in line for a while. I have a feeling I'm not gonna get my first lap until probably 11 o'clock, but I'll keep you posted. You can see 10:47. I already took my lap. It went pretty good. I didn't spin out. Yeah, that's about it. Just waiting in line again. Alright, so the car is doing okay. I did 3 laps out on the skid pad. I hate B group because every single lap that I was out there, somebody spun out in front of me, and I had to shut it down to drive around them or let them get back online and start drifting. So that was annoying. I hate B group, but so I did 3 laps. Car feels okay. I'm going to swap my tires from left to right because they were running the skid pad in the same direction as the clubhouse circuit is going to go. So I just want to swap the right tire to the left and the left tire to the right, so that I'm not prematurely killing one tire. So felt good. Car feels good. There's definitely a little bit of a shake in the driveline. I'm not sure if it's my drive shaft being not balanced properly, or if it's like my center support bearing or my transmission bushings, because those are the only thing that is stock in the car. I know they've been replaced, but it's a stock rubber bushing, and it is the only rubber part in the drive line. So it goes through a lot of stress. It could very well be that one of the stock bushings that I put in already failed. So either way, I'm happy I'm out here drifting. Excited to get out on the clubhouse circuit. Somebody spinning out in front of me. Alrighty, B group is out on Clubhouse, so I'm heading to get in grid line for Clubhouse. We're on here from 11 to 12:45, I think it is. So this is what I came for. This is the track that I want to drive. So let's see how we do. Go for it. mentioned how much I hate B group, yet again, another lap where 2 people spun out in front of me and the first corner. So, yeah, that happened. And then after, so it was the flagger sent, I think, 4 of us. I was the 4th person that he sent. The first person spun, the second person spun because the first person spun, the third person just stopped drifting. I never even started drifting because I saw all the commotion that was going on in front of me. And then, yeah, there ended up being a little bit of a cluster on the track. And then the person who was in front of me decided that they weren't going to drift that lap. So I was drifting behind a car that was not even driving 100%, just, you know, moseying around the track while, you know, trying to do the remainder of my lap behind him. So that was kind of annoying. But I'm here, I'm drifting, I'm having fun. That's what I'm here for. I just really wish that, you know, the track officials would watch me and, you know, not send me right behind people that either A, don't drive as fast as me, or B, are consistently spinning out trying to enter on the track. Don't send me. Give me a little space. I'm trying to drift. I'm trying to, like, run the whole course. But anyways, I'm back in line. Let's see how this one goes. One of these laps I'll get to do a whole lap. I swear. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So I'm having a great time, but like as always, I just hate how long the grid line is here all the time. Like all the time. It's not terrible, but I mean, at least my car is cooled down by the time I get back out on track. You know, I gotta look on the positives. But, yeah. I'm just taking a little break. I needed some water. It's, 12 o'clock. My run group started at 11:30, so I've got, what did I do, like 4, maybe 5 laps in the that half an hour time frame. So like I said, it's not terrible. I've definitely done much worse, but it just really sucks waiting all that time in line just to have the person in front of you spin out on entry. And they send like 6 cars at a time, and I mean, it's cool. It keeps the, you know, the flow of the line going, but it's kind of tough when I'm trying to enter at like the top of 2nd gear, you know, bottom of 3rd gear, and the person in front of me is just like cutting off the line. And that's one of those things where when I was running grid for, who was that? Clean Culture. When I ran grid for Clean Culture in Palmer, you, as the flagger, you have to watch out for the drivers who drive slower and the drivers who drive faster, because obviously it's not a big deal for me to like drift behind someone, but that person that's in front of me might not want to have someone drifting behind them. They might just want to do a solo lap, and it's your job as the flagger to make sure that the cars that are doing solo laps are out on track by themselves, and the cars that are driving fast aren't being held up by the cars that are driving slow. So I don't know, I'm just a little frustrated in that aspect, but we're having a good day. I've put together a few good laps. Haven't really gotten to do like a good initiation, but it's what I get for being in B group still. It's kind of funny because, I mean, it stinks now because the street series is over, but I almost feel like the only way I can get the recognition for, you know, being able to drive is if I do the competition. And then once I do the competition, or once I'm on a team or whatever, then maybe they bump me to A group. But even having A group drivers come down to drive with me in B group, and have A group drivers ask if I can drive with them in A group, they're like, no, he's B group, we can't do that. How long am I going to be B group before I can actually drive with my friends? I understand I don't drive here all that often, but that doesn't mean that I'm not good. I have people that like vouch for my driving skills. I have people in A group that want to drive with me, but no, I'm not good enough in the eyes of Lock City. So I'm just out there being a B group warrior, and it is what it is. But just letting the car cool down for a minute, let me cool down for a minute, drink some water, and then I'm gonna get back out on track. We are on the clubhouse circuit until 12:45, so still got a little bit of time to do over there, and then I think after that it's lunchtime, so definitely looking forward to that. I'm super hungry. just had lunch, just hanging out now. B group is actually on the skid pad until 2:20. It's now 2 o'clock. I'm actually not even going to bother driving the skid pad, so skipping the second skid pad session for lunch, let the car cool down, little smoke, and yeah, just getting ready to go back out on the clubhouse circuit for, I think we go back out for 2:20 or 2:30. It's pretty cool the way that they run the run groups here. So as a B group driver, even though it sucks with people spinning out in front of me all the time, I'm essentially always out on track. So whether it be the clubhouse circuit or the skid pad, B group, or the intermediate group as they call it, is always having track time. So that's pretty cool. I've been able to get quite a bit of laps, but just hanging out now. Gonna give it like 20 minutes or so, and then gonna gonna go get in line for the clubhouse circuit. So it feels like something got loose in my front end on that run. I was fighting the wheel a lot. I don't know if I like bent a tie rod or something. I mean it drives straight, so nothing should be bent, but I definitely had some shaking going on in the turns and at angle. So I'm thinking either an inner ball joint or some ball, either a ball joint failed, or possibly I don't know, either a ball joint failed, my steering rack failed, or it's just an issue with my power steering pump shimmying when it's trying to work. But so I pulled back into the pits. I'm going to jack up the front end and just check and see real quick if there's any play in either side on the tie rods. If there's no play in the tie rods or the tie rods or control arms, then I'm most likely going. But if everything checks out tight, then it's definitely an issue with either the pump or just the fluid being super old and causing the pump to give me problems. So I'm gonna do that and hopefully get back out on track. So I jacked up the front. I checked both tie rods, inner and outer, on both the driver and passenger side. Everything is tight. I checked that the steering rack had no play. Everything is tight. So that means it's definitely an issue with either the pump or the fluid. Not a big deal. I can drive around a little bit of shaking in the wheel, but the another thing that I noticed is it could be my my front tires, because with the track getting super grippy and very warm, and all of the rubber that has been deposited on the track from throughout the day. And last night they also had an event, so there's a lot of rubber on the track. My front tires, as they get grippier, are picking up that rubber. So they're not balanced, and I wouldn't put it past it to think that, like, you know, it's picking up more rubber, causing it to shake as well. But if I'm gonna be honest, it's probably the pump. It's not making any noise, but we'll see. I'm gonna go out and do a few more laps. I also took this time to change the GoPro battery because the GoPro battery was about to die, so see how it goes. So it's fucking hot. As you saw in that last clip on Clubhouse, I spun. So I'm going to take that spinning as a sign that I should just call it a day. If not call it a day, at least change tires. But it's actually, we have like 5 minutes left of the Clubhouse run group. So instead of putting new tires on and wasting them on the skid pad, driving by myself or driving with random people, I'm just going to save the tires that I still have and just save them for the next event. Maybe I can get Louis to come out and we can actually like drive an event together again. Because it's been a little while, but I just wanted to come out and get a few laps in. You know, I've done a little bit to the car, so I always like to, like, you know, I put a new steering wheel in it. I tested some different stuff in the rear end, trying to see like if there was a problem. Clearly there's a problem. So the vibration in the drivetrain did get worse throughout the day. So either tonight or tomorrow when I go home, I need to get the car jacked up in the rear enough so that I can just really check out the diff. My subframe is a little bit bent, so instead of using the factory diff mounting bolt for the ear, it's through bolted on one of them. So I don't know if maybe that through bolt broke or got loose or bent or something, or maybe the maybe I've got an issue with my front bushing, but I really have a feeling that it's actually my U-joints in the drive shaft. So this drive shaft actually came from the convertible. So when I did the 5-speed swap on the convertible, the whole 5-speed swap came with a new drive shaft assembly. One with replaceable U-joints. It was brand new, balanced, aligned, like everything. Had stickers to make sure that you didn't unbalance it. So with that drive shaft, I was chasing down a vibration issue in the convertible. So I put that drive shaft in the convertible to make sure that it wasn't this drive shaft. Wouldn't you know that there actually was still a vibration in the convertible. I tracked it down to what I thought was just the tires not being balanced, but after doing some decent pulls with this drive shaft in this car, and just really looking for a problem and not being able to find a problem besides I'm getting a wobbling coming from the rear under load. I really have a feeling that the U-joints failed in the drive shaft. I don't think it's the center support bearing, because again, this drive shaft was on the convertible and I replaced the center support bearing because I was chasing down that drivetrain vibration. So I don't think it's the center support bearing. I do think it is the U-joints, but I mean, there's not really any major play in them. But that's what I'm leaning towards. So it's either that or there's a major issue going on in the rear. I mean, it could very well be the struts and the whole rear end is bouncing up and down, but without being able to see a video of the car from the outside when it's happening, it just feels as if it's only drivetrain related. I also feel like if my car looked crazy from the outside taking off, somebody might tell me that my car looks crazy from the outside taking off to try and save me from breaking it further, but nobody said anything. I only ever got compliments on the car all day, so it was a good day. I spun on that last corner. That was the one time that I spun all day. I just touched the left foot brake. I wanted to make more smoke and bounce it off the rev limiter, and I was too deep into angle and didn't have enough rear grip, and when I hit the throttle, I spun out. Luckily, the guy behind me was paying attention, so he, stopped, didn't hit me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to drive out of the spin to the inside of the track, and I spun so fast that I actually did a perfect 180. And so I just threw it in reverse and backed up out of the guy's way. But yeah, no, I had a good day, had a lot of fun, got a decent amount of laps. Calling it just because, not because I spun, but I'm just taking spinning as a sign that I don't need to drive anymore. I've had fun. My brain is starting to rot a little bit from all of the thinking and everything that I'm doing while I'm behind the wheel. But it was a good day. I had a lot of fun. So the first time I drifted on these, I drifted on them last season, and they chunked a little bit on the shoulder right here. So I took them off and didn't drift on them anymore. But I figured, I've gotten a lot of street use out of them, so I figured it's time to just blow them off. I don't even care if they chunk out on me. But they actually wore really well. Obviously the shoulders wore a little bit because I ran them down to 20 psi, so it's a 45 sidewall, so they definitely folded over a little bit, but it's pretty good wear. It's even across the wear bars. Actually definitely wore the inside a little little bit more. It's literally negligible. But yeah, wore the inside a little bit more. I did swap them left to right one time, so not bad. They actually did way better than I thought they would, and I'll take it. When I was in the tech line, I reset my trip odometer, and as I was leaving the track, I noticed that I drove on track 16 miles today. So I thought that was pretty cool. I feel like 16 miles is a decent amount of drifting.